at Thomas. We're looking over his, what is it, 67?
67, yeah.
67 C10. And he just came back from SEMA, and you were top 10 in the like 30 and under builders, right?
Yeah, I ended up actually winning the whole class for Young Guns.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. All right, you're the man then. All right. So we come to here yesterday, and the first thing that stuck out to me is the quality of your truck. Like the fit and the finish of this build, it's what we do, and we're twice your age. You know what I mean? So you're like way ahead of the game. What actually surprised me is when I started asking you questions about hours and stuff you got in it. And the reason that surprised me is because I log all the hours we have. Yeah. And when I tell people, hey, this is where we're at hourly wise, it just blows their mind. Like I think that a lot of shops and a lot of builders just are not keeping track of their hours. So I came back today and I was like, man, I want to film this because I think this is important for the whole industry to understand. First things I noticed when I walked by was the gapping on it. He's got like a perfect 3/16 gap on every panel, and all of his body lines are crisp. And I know what this takes. This takes a lot of time to get all that right. You know, these doors, you don't just buy them brand new, even if they're from AMD or whoever. You still got to modify them. Yeah. I mean, did you spend a lot of hours fitting the doors and fitting the hood and fitting this cowl?
Yeah. So I mean, I did all the metal work, and when I did all the metal work and line up everything in the door gaps and stuff like that, I do all that in hard metal. And then, you know, these doors to begin with, some doors will have a natural roll, because that's how when they crimp them and
it kind of dive.
That heim joint, it will be rolled. And so to get these two panels flat, you have to literally metal work them, either shrink them or use a shrinking disc and get this to go in and this to come out, vice versa. But you have to do that in order to get it flat. And so it's just, I mean, just doing that could be 3 full days worth of work on one side, not even both
just
sides.
In this one spot. We're talking here to here. You can spend 3 days.
Depending on how bad it is. If it's real bad, it could take up to 3 days. Sometimes you can get this taken care of in a day, but that's full, you know, we're talking 10, 12 hours.
Are these aftermarket panels to begin with? So these are aftermarket, so you didn't have to fix no rust.
No.
But
you do have to adjust.
I've dealt with a lot of factory panels, and I know they're just as bad. Yeah. Like, you're going to have to do that, but you also have to fix the rust.
Yeah, if you want to take it to this level, this isn't something for a beginner. This takes tons of time to get to this point. I think just doing all the gaps on the truck, working on all the gaps, it was probably at least 3 weeks going, you know, starting from the back, getting the door set, and once the door's set in place, then do the fender, then the cowl, then the hood. So you just have to work your way around. This is what it takes on these things to do it.
Did you have to work over these window frames? I see you smoothed all this out, welded all this up. Did you have to work these window frames to get those to fit like that?
Yes, these are actually off the original door. So I cut this whole hoop out of the original door because it fit a little bit better, and I like the consistency more. And so I took that off the original doors, cut the aftermarket one off, put these back in, spot weld them back in, and then adjusted the end to out on them.
Doesn't that sound familiar? We did the same thing. We bought a brand new set of doors, mocked them up. We're like, oh, this is dog shit. And then we cut the factory ones off the doors and did exactly everything you just said we just did. And I didn't even know that walking over here, but that does not surprise me.
Yeah, it's just if you want to take it to this level, the stuff I look at is like the width from here to this outside edge. So on both sides they're the same. If I had left it, someone would notice that change, and that's the things I look at on builds like this.
So to get this thing to set right when you close the door, do you have to work this pinch weld quite a bit in there?
Not the pinch weld, just the door.
Actually just manipulating the door frame? Yep. Do you have any issues with it when you're welding all this up, it trying to just change different positions?
Not really, no.
We did have that quite a bit. We would lock it in with spot welds, and then it seemed like every time we would weld somewhere else, it would try to pull that thing around. And, all right, so for us to kind of combat that, once we got the door welded in, we did have to come back in and work this that seal flange around there where the spot welds put it together, just to kind of make the door open and close right and have the right amount of crush on the seal. What kind of seals did you use on the pinch weld?
I think they were soft seal.
Okay, but it was like a factory replacement. It wasn't off of a Toyota Tundra or some random crap like that.
Yeah, they were all factory on them.
Okay.
But you know, they require manipulation to get everything to work the way I want them to. But yeah.
So I know on the glass, this is a flush mount glass.
Yep.
I know as advertised, the stuff fits perfect. So you probably didn't have to do any body work or metal work at all around any of the glass, right?
Well, So this is a Fessler glass. It did happen to sit in the original opening when I had the glass sitting in the original opening for the truck, and it would have worked fine, but I didn't want to have that offset where they had the rubber. So this dipped down
because it had a bigger radius in there, right?
It had a bigger radius, and it had a drop, like an 1/8 inch drop for that rubber seal on the glass to sit in.
Yeah.
And I didn't want any of that to be there, so I cut it back to here, all the way around, remade the entire pinch weld. The pinch weld's an 1/8 inch steel, and then all this is metal work, so just metal working and basically making a new channel using a shrinker stretcher and then welding it all back in.
We kind of did the same thing. We actually wanted to raise the pinch weld so that it wasn't just, you know, thick urethane all the way around there. Yeah, that looks clean, man. And then every time you weld it and hammer and dolly it, then you got to come back and body work it, so it's like 3 times as much work. But it's like, if you want it nice, like at this level, you don't just drop this stuff in and glue it in. No, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot of work.
It depends kind of what, you know, the client wants. If you're wanting a full custom, I mean, it's like what I told you earlier, budgets have no business being in this stuff. It's impossible to build a car on a budget to this level. It's literally it's a time and material approach that you have to take to do these, and the client has to be aware of that. It's just,
so when you're building stuff like this, you don't give no estimate?
Well, I can give you a ballpark where I think it's going to land, but at the end of the day, I'm not liable for what we end at. You know, I mean, things can change. Part companies could decide overnight, hey, we're going to sell our, you know, let's say steering wheel for $1,200, we're going to sell it for $1,500. So that's stuff that you don't have control over, and ultimately it can change overnight. So
yeah, they've changed a lot this year, prices on parts.
They're not going to go back down. So
and the thing is, we're businesses. When all the price of everything goes up, and we're trying to keep the same hourly rate, we at least got to account for all the hours we're spending on it. You know.
So, yeah, it's part of it. I mean, you know, like I said earlier, just between the chassis and the drivetrain we got in this one, I mean, you're looking at 80 grand right there, right off the bat. I mean, those are 1 hour purchases you can make, and that's going to be a ton of the money going into the project. So that's not including all the other parts you got on the truck. That's just the chassis and the motor. So
it's been my experience. It seems like a lot of customers, when they can take, like, they'll spend money on the big ticket items like that, they can just buy and boom, it's done. But when it comes to the meticulous hours that go into it, that's where there seems to be a disconnect. I feel like in our industry, you know.
I think the public needs, well, I don't know if I'd say it or not, but you know, doing stuff to this level is getting harder and harder and harder to find good craftsmen to come out and actually do the work. But at the same time, it's expensive because there's not a lot of people who can take the time to go through a build like this. And you know, I mean, this whole truck comes apart. This whole back of the cow's painted and cleared. Everything on this truck is painted. There's not one part that was original. There's not one bolt that was original. And that's just because that's the way I do stuff, is I take everything apart. And this truck probably went together 30 or 40 times between metal and body. So
I got a question. So did you build the chassis on this?
No, it's an Art Morrison chassis.
Okay, so you bought the Art Morrison chassis. Did you build the engine or transmission?
The engine and stuff is a GM Performance Connect and Cruise kit. So LT4 10-speed, and that comes with the harness and everything like that. So I like to do my builds that way just because I'm not dealing with the aftermarket engine that's been messed with or machined, and if there's any issues, 9 times out of 10,
it can be a liability.
Exactly. I don't necessarily recommend that. Like, if I have a client, they want to use a certain motor, that's fine, but they have to understand I'm not responsible for anything in the motor. That's just not something I handle. So.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So, well, what I'm getting at is I'm looking at this truck, and you've done an amazing job, and I know you've done all the metal work, you've done all the body work, you did the interior, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you did all this interior, which, damn, it's nice though, man.
Anything that has stitching on it, I did not do, but like all the console, I designed the console in CAD, made all the pieces for the consoles. A lot of the parts on the dash are machined.
So pretty much excluding the chassis and excluding the motor and transmission, you made everything else on this truck.
Yeah, using part like metal and stuff you could get, and you know, everything on the truck has to be touched. There's nothing on the truck that's just bolt on. That's
right.
100% fact. There's nothing that I pulled off the shelf and directly bolted on this truck. Everything's either painted, plated, modified or fabricated.
Got to make it work.
Yeah.
You buy it and then make it fit.
I mean,
Yeah.
You know, that's where, you know, at the end of the day, that's where those 7,500 hours come into. It's getting everything.
7,500 hours. So he's got 7,500 hours in building this truck without fabricating a chassis or building an engine or transmission. So he's got a roller here from that point to this point. It's 7,500 hours. The thing is, I 100% believe you, man. I've built a lot of these. I know that's what it takes.
Hour logs. There's a lot.
How do you log your hours? Just
on this truck, it was mostly just on my phone logging hours. I have a client coming in next on a 63 vet. That one's going to be computerized hour checklist. I keep a sheet with each build. Every time I work on it, write down kind of what's been going on. And
I got you.
Keep everything kind of in order. But yeah.
We actually run a stopwatch, and then we log them every week in the QuickBooks off the stopwatches. But we take it to another level. Like if we mess up something, we stop our watch and then we fix that on our own dime, and we still end up with the time. So there's still hundreds of hours of learning curves and mistakes that, you know, I could say it's on us, but it's also part of just building a custom vehicle. You know what I mean? Some of it's just doing something that's not been done before.
It's not like going to Ford or GM and buying a truck.
Right.
You know exactly.
So a lot of times we'll eat that stuff just because we're trying to push the project through.
That's very.
But you know, at the end of the day, we still have to survive, and you know, I can't put 7,500 hours into a project and not make any money on it. Like if we're going to invest 7,500 hours into a project, well, we need to see something out of that. You know what I mean? But we're going to just look over your truck some more here, man, and man, the gaps on the tailgate just look good, man. Good job. You actually notched this out to.
Yes.
So
this
you
is
notched the
all
corner?
fabricated on the top. This whole piece.
I love the taillights on this truck. Those look good.
Machined the exhaust tips. Those are all custom.
Yeah, that's probably the classiest exhaust, like rear exit exhaust I've seen. I think most people just way overdo it. Here, zoom back and look at that. Like, that's really tasteful, in my opinion. A lot of people, they're just doing too damn much back here. That's perfect, man. That looks good. Good job. You got an eye for style, man. It looks good. Like, everything I see on this truck is just, it's really tasteful and just not over the top ridiculous, but it's like perfect. Yeah. I even love the color of the chassis and everything. That looks so good, man. The wheels are good. Nice. How old are you?
26.
26? Wow, man. What was your background before this?
I went to technical college to learn a lot of this stuff, and then also my mentors who are in the industry. I'm first generation hot rodder, if you want to call it, but my parents were not in this industry, and I mean, this is the second car I've built, so.
Wow, it's the second car. That's incredible. Did you meet Josh Sanders out at SEMA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went and took a class with him, man. He's extremely talented dude. He's about your age, maybe a year or two older, but yeah, he's right there with you, man. Well, hey, dude, it was nice to come over and chat, dude.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Good job, man.
Thank y'all.